So we have a lot in stock to discuss today, but before we get into it, let's introduce ourselves in the chat box. Do we know why we are here today? Why are we here today? Let's get more people to attend. Let's share this link with our friends, our communities. I think from the cybersecurity masterclass that just ended, I think people were asking for the meeting link as well. If we can find a way to share it, with the communities, or with the other communities that we have at RKY. Right, so I want to believe you should be able to see my screen now. Please confirm that so we can get started.
I can see the screen.
Yes, we can. We can see it.
Thank you. I just figured I was muted. Right, so let's introduce us. I'd like to meet you both, where you have joined us from, where you heard about this session, and what industry, the business you're looking to explore or start, would be. Let's use the chat box while we get more people to join us here today. So let's use the chat box to introduce ourselves, our names, the city we are joining from, and the area of business, right? If you're an RKY alumni, probably from our other, from the career side, you can also mention that you're an RKY alumni. And if you found us through, let's know where you found us from. Okay, so I've got Abiola Ajayi, Nottingham, Immigration Chamber. Beautiful. From and good to have you here. Let's get more intro. We've got over 33 people, right? Can we introduce ourselves in the chat box? This actually is supposed to be a very interactive session, and we can only do that, if you guys respond very swiftly as well. So I've got Femi Yusuf, RKY alumni engineer, project manager, business manager, currently exploring business partnership in the food sector. That's good to know. That's a lot. You wear a lot of caps. You're just like me. Right, so I've got Okmayemi joining from Hull City exploring fashion. That's good. That's beautiful. I've got Kemi, London compliance cohort 16. Okay, I think people are struggling to get into the session with the link. All right. Dennis, live in Washington, have a real estate company in Nigeria. I'm having Airbnb and would like interested in an Airbnb and cleaning business here in the UK. I saw you in the content. Okay, good to know. Welcome, welcome. My name is Rayo. I heard about this masterclass via the Business Hub Instagram page, and the business will be in EdTech. I'm Fumi. I've joined from Kent. Heard about this session from Instagram. My business would be events planning. Oh, the link on the email is wrong, so people are unable to use it to join.
Yeah, I couldn't use it.
Wow. Joy, can you fix that?
Yes, ma. I'm sending out another email now with the link, and if you can copy it and put it on the browser, I will put a message there as well.
Copy what's under the browser?
The link, because when you press on the button, for some reason, it's not going there. But I'm going to put the link itself so that people will be able to copy it, put it in the browser, and hopefully they'll be able to get in that way. I'm sending that out now. Yeah.
Please, let's fix that. Karen Annan, Data Analysis Cohort 9, heard about this session in the WhatsApp group page. And then, I don't know if Bisoye is here as well, we can share this in the alumni community. Not the one for current students that will be in class, but for those who are now in the alumni community. Okay, let's get right on with the intros. I don't have as much intros as I have on the call. We've got over 40 people on the call now, and I've only just introduced about 3 people. I've got Belinda, RKY, Compliance, Watford. Interested in events planning and management. Okay, I love that. It's interesting industry so far. So I've got Esther from Birmingham, heard about this event via Instagram. I'm a designer, and I'm looking to start my own brand. Beautiful. What else? Who else do we have in the house? Let's introduce ourselves. I can see so many familiar names, but I can't see their intros.
Okay, hi Ricky. I'll just type my intro on the chat. But my name is Mercy. I've worked with some business analyst students as their assistant, just coaching them out. Yeah, so I'm familiar to the team. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the intro. Welcome to the session. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so we've spent 15 minutes on intro. Let's move straight to why we are here today. So why are you considering business? But you know what, guys, this is not going to really work because I've got like 40 people here, so I would need us to be as interactive as possible. I'll be asking lots of questions. If you want to get into business, you need to like get curious, you know, you need to ask questions, you need to what's it called, take mentorship and coaching, like talk to people, which is what we are here to do today, even though this is just the one day masterclass. So I'll be asking loads of questions, and I want to count on the fact that I'll be getting those responses, because as much as you want to enjoy the session, I want to enjoy the session as well, talking to you. Right, so let's get on with it. So I'm sure you all know who I am. And okay, right, so my own journey into business also started, to be honest, I would say with the main business I that you all know me with now. I would say that started about, over 3 years ago. However, before then, I tried my hand on a couple of other things, right, related to business as well, which were all successful, but I would say they were not for me, because if I had put all this energy that I later put in other business ventures into them fully at the time, I wouldn't have been able to achieve or get to, what I would say is maybe probably where I am today, because there are so many business ventures out there, but you need to know which one you can do optimally, right? That would also help you achieve all the other goals that you might also have. Right. So idea that grew today into multiple businesses, each venture creating opportunities, building community and empowering others. And if I could start with that one idea, so can you. Either your idea is in event planning, or agency, cleaning agency, or property, regardless of where you want to start, it's very possible and you can do it. My own personal story started from, I used to even have a 9 to 5. So for those of you who currently have 9 to 5, and you probably are thinking, oh, I have a 9 to 5, it's not possible. Guess what? I've beaten all those odds. I've done it in the most difficult of all situations possible. I'm also a mom of two. I'm also a mom of two toddlers, 2 children below 5 years old, which people would say, oh, those are like the toughest time. That's that period that people actually even stop working just to focus on their kids. And this is no shade to people that do that, because anything that works for us respectively, right? However, the message is just that you can do anything you set your eyes to, so long as also other circumstances around you are favorable. Right, so let's take a couple more intros. I'm Esther from Birmingham, aspiring fashion designer. Ubaidat from Kent, looking to rebrand my business and open as soon as possible. I'm a fashion designer back home, and I'm looking forward to opening a ready to wear here soon. I was referred here by Auntie Kemi. Thank you, Auntie Kemi, for the referral if you're here. Okay, my name is Paul, live in London at the moment, interested in consulting, real estate, health products, investments. I love that as well. Okay, Hilltop Collection, Chris Eze from Swindon. I'm looking at opening a cleaning business, data analysis in view. I heard about it from the 13.0 cohorts group. Beautiful. All of what you've said, and even more than you can even think of right now, are possible. Nothing is impossible. You just need to do what? You need to start and stop being aspiring. So let me just tell you a little bit about the RKY Group, which is the group of businesses I currently, run I currently run. It's a dynamic conglomerate, dedicated to empowering underrepresented individuals, communities, and professionals and founders through innovative solutions, impactful events, and transformative programs. Diverse, which is RKY Careers, and AI job application products, and Immigrants Founders Network, now called an events company, Limitless Without Borders, a podcast, a property company, and so much more that are not listed here. And I also personally invest. I'm an angel investor, and I invest in small businesses, which is also another way to diversify your portfolio and also keep earning, right? So we create opportunities and bridge gaps and inspire growth for professionals, businesses, and communities. And our mission is to empower underrepresented and ethnic minority professionals and businesses by providing the right tools, resources, and platforms that foster career advancement, entrepreneurial success, and community growth. And so much more that you already know. Right, so talking about Rukayat Alabi, who am I? Some of you and most of you already know me, but for those who do not, I also moved to the UK 6 years ago. Like I said, I've beaten almost all the odds that are possible out there. Right, I moved to the UK 6 years ago, and right, I've been through all that you can imagine, from the job side, trying to get a job, getting rejections, down to starting a business, facing all the
So like we promised, we expect.
businesses as well are bootstrapped, meaning that you just technology to probably get used to it. Bootstrapped means doing your business by yourself, or basically without actually funding, right? But a lot of other businesses, right, VCs and all of that. Right, so I'm also the host of the Limitless and Thriving podcast and the Limitless Without Borders events, which is happening next week. So for those of you who do not know, there's an event that we host that bring together professionals, founders from the ethnic minority background, Nigerians in UK, Ghanaians in UK, or you name it, who also want to come together under a room to stand out, and live fulfilling lives. So in that session, or in the events on Saturday, you're going to be learning all about tech, career, finance, business, property, and so much more. So you don't want to miss it. If you haven't gotten your tickets, please do so, because it's one of our ways of also ensuring that we empower our community. Right, so this is still a little bit about me. So I've got over 12 years corporate experience in banking, finance, fintech, technology across Nigeria as well as in the UK. I used to work as a senior finance analyst in the City of London at Vanquis Bank, which I left about 9 months ago to focus fully on my businesses. And I have 5+ years of entrepreneurial experience managing multiple businesses across IT, coaching, consulting, property, events, edtech, and community building. And, just like I said, I've won lots of awards, across different years, from 2022 down to Tech Startup of the Year in 2025. And I also have very fresh nominations as well. Being nominated in the Black British Business Awards. Featured in Forbes, Guardian, Vanguard, Punch, Tech Economy, and so much more. I've been live on national TV, on Channels TV, on Arise News, within the space of the last, 3 want to start a business. Let me ask you, because I said it's going to be very interactive. We're going to be brainstorming with each other. Why are you considering starting a business in the UK? What is your why? Because for whatever it is we want to do, our why has to be strong. Because guess what? Starting a business is not an escape route. If you are running away from the stress of 9 to 5, if that's your why, right? Business is not easy either, right? But tell me, what's your why? If you want to speak, please use the raise of hand button. I'm very happy to take 1 or 2 people to speak if they want to talk, right? But majority should drop their responses in the chat box. I should get the responses going really fast. Who knows, there might be something on offer to win at the end of this session to the most interactive. Let me please, the rest, please drop your
Yes, thank you for the platform. I think my why is to look at opportunities for strengthening my stay in the UK. I currently have a business in Nigeria that is doing quite well. And I also have a lot of experience in managing and growing a business, but this is a different, the UK is a different environment, a different, the culture, the business expectations and all that. So my why is to see, okay, how can I leverage the experience I have to see if I can do something here, which will be very challenging but interesting, and also help me strengthen my further stay in the UK. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And I know I have a lot of people in your shoes who have run businesses back, in their home countries, but when they move to the UK, right, starting a business is actually very different, but it's also very possible. So we're going to have Belinda next. Share your why. What's your why?
Hi everyone, I'm Belinda. My why might be a little bit, I don't know, everyone I tell this tells me you're not normal. Having studied in Africa, I studied what my parents actually wanted me to do. And once I got a chance of coming to the UK and interacting with RKY and other people, I got to know that you can actually still follow your passion, no matter the age, or if you haven't started, you can always start. So my passion has been in events planning and management. I've always followed up people to see how they're doing it because I'm interested. But because I studied something different, in Africa, you're a bit limited to get to actually what you want to do. But there's an opportunity to start doing your passion in the UK.
Right. Thanks for that. Right. So for you, your why is that, right? First of all, you've been inspired by so many people who are doing really well, and the opportunities are more for you here in the UK than they are in Africa, which is good. That's a good perspective. Okay, I'm going to take Dennis and Rayo, and the rest, please drop your whys in the chat box. Dennis, please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Can you hear? Yeah, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Right. RKY, thank you very much. This is real now. Yeah, I've been waiting for this class. Yeah. So the reason why my why is, the fact that one, I have my company running back home. I have my real estate running back home, still running till now. It's just a passion, and it's me feeling fulfilled. This climb we are in the UK is a completely different climb. Yeah, I still have people who call me for business, particularly in terms of my Airbnb that I run shortlets, that I run back home. I have a property that a couple of families give to me in London, in several places that I have not yet known how to put myself together. Do you understand? So my why is just me still having that zeal, passion, running my business, solidifying my stay here, as Femi said, and building something particularly for myself and for my future, for the future of my family. So that is my why.
That's a very good why. That's a very good why. Okay, so yeah, good to know. And I love the fact that most of us, after I've spoken so far, you guys have business experiences from back home, which is good, right? But I'm sure that there are so many people that don't also have that. I would like to hear from them. But Dennis, please go on.
Yeah, so me having that satisfaction, that zeal is just there. I feel like I feel as if I'm crippled here. Like Me that I know how I make, in fact, as I'm here, I still make money from Nigeria almost, do you understand? So basically, not doing the things that give me money and give me satisfaction back home, like it's as if I'm not following my destiny at all. You know,
Right.
so I need to build something for myself, for my children. When I say build for my children, this is what it is to build an empire for them.
Legacy.
Exactly, all over the world. No, it's not say best income UK. Having this is maybe working 9 to 5 or 8 to 8 is building something for children. No, this is what it is. You know, let me start the labor now, just solidifying my stay for myself and family. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. I love these whys. You know why? Because they're passion. They're very passionate. You know, I can feel the passion in it, and they're also very personal. Amaka, you're the last person. I'm like the last speaker I'm going to take, and then I'm going to read the lot of comments I've got in the chats. What's your why? Is Amaka? Amaka, are you with us?
Hi,
You
sorry.
need to.
I put myself on mute. I didn't realize. Oh, sorry. I don't know where the conversation just started, but I just joined and I saw it's a business coaching class. So from what the last speaker just said, I'm just gonna like on the back of that and say what I want to say. So I have a 9 to 5. I do, but to be honest, it's becoming very tiring at this point. And I just feel like I'm just, when you are feeding into other people, I need to feed into myself and do my own thing and to be able to be flexible and build generational wealth because I just feel like 9 to 5 can never give you that. And on the back of that, I've started something, but to be honest, there's just this thing that because I've never done business before. I've been in compliance for God knows how many years now. And at the back of that, for me, and I've seen a lot of businesses when you do due diligence and all of that. And for me, I have a background in, business, doing AML businesses that want to extend credit. So I see a lot of businesses every day where I have to look at financial statement and all of that to determine SOF. So I come across businesses and it's actually motivated me. Like these people see generational wealth. Like I can never be like these people if I continue like this. The work that you put in does not even amount. There is no right compensation for the kind of work that you put in, to be honest. So, and that is why I started to do something. So I started a cleaning business. I've not really started. I'm still at the initiation stage, or will I say that I've probably tried to launch a little bit. Yeah, I've done a website. I've tried to do things, but sometimes moving forward from that is becoming difficult for me because at the end of it, I've never done business before. I've tried to, in my own little way, to drive marketing. It's not getting so much heat like that. I'm coming from a service person. I've never been the one to like put myself out there apart from trying to send out your CV to get employment. So yes, I think I've talked too much now, but that's my why.
I love it. I love your why. Your why, I'm tired of pouring that energy. I can relate to having so much energy, and you're just like pouring it into a 9 to 5, where that that there's nothing wrong with 9 to 5, by the way. There's nothing wrong with 9 to 5. However, we know the environments we are. Back home, if I can, my own back home means Nigeria for me. Back home, if you are able to like build your own house, for like if you are living in your own house that you built yourself, and probably you have one or two other things, I think you're like made for life. You don't need to worry about rent again. You don't need to worry. But even in this country, all these are just bought a new property today. There's still like mortgage to pay every month. So you can't even say you're not getting the job, or you can't lose the job, right? So I totally understand the fact that there's still, it just looks like even though you are working, you are not building legacy. You're not doing something that's, basically. So I can relate to that really. And guess what? The fact that you haven't done a business before is not a barrier. Before I moved to the UK, I've always been a corporate person too. Bank. I even work 9 to 5. I work Monday to Sunday. The kind of work I used to do. I never even saw myself, as someone who could eventually do a business. I had a sister too, who also she did banking for quite a while, and then she started a small business. She started a business with just 17,000 naira. 17,000 naira here in pounds, if you want to use the current exchange rates, is how much would that be? I don't even know how much that would be, but that was how much she started, just with a few pieces of the items she now sells right now. But at that time, I was even encouraged. I was one that sold a few pieces of the first set of things, encouraging at them. But I never even saw myself as someone that, so which is why not all businesses too might be for you. I don't think I'm very good at, products-based selling,
Yes.
but I might also be because I've never tried it soon. But I remember that the first sort of things, I would take it to the office for her to sell to my colleagues. So I was still the one that sold the first set of things. So probably it was always there. But the thing is that if you don't get pushed into some environments or situations, you might never actually leverage some inbound skills that you already have. So I've got Karen raising her or his hand, and I'm not so sure I can take. Karen, you're the last person I'm going to take, and then we proceed.
Thank you, Ruki. Sorry, my why, I can't really type it because I really want to say it. So the reason why I joined this particular session is because my why is because of the fact that I don't want to give up. This back home, I was working and I had my own business at the same time. And I've always seen myself to be someone who doesn't give up. But coming here, it has really tested me a lot, and still been looking for a job, and it's not been easy. So this is my why, is the fact that I don't want to give up. I still want to, if the 9 to 5 has not come yet, I still want to explore my options of even building a business, a small business. So I feel this platform is also a way for me to learn to pick up myself, to be able to encourage myself to not to give up.
Beautiful. I love that. That's a very big why as well, to be honest. It's also a means, it's a means to a lot of ends. Okay, so I'm going to box, and I love the first response I have. GB, I don't know what your name is, GB. My why is to make money and be independent. That is a good enough one. You don't need any other thing than that. I want to make money and I want to be free. That is a good why. I want to do things on my own terms. I love that why. My why is to bridge the gap in the housing market. Okay, that's solution focused. Okay, so that's your why, which is also a very good why. I've practiced as a legal practitioner, and that's from Milayo. Right. So Opayemi says, my reason for I think I was reading Abiola. Abiola's own is, I have practiced as a legal practitioner for almost 8 years, and I want to get back to practice, but I want to focus more now on immigration law. That's also good. My reason for starting a business is the passion I have for what I do and to be independent. Most importantly, to secure my stay here in the UK. That's from Opayemi. I want to start a business in the UK because of its stable economy, supportive business environment, and diverse markets. That sounds like living here has shown me the opportunity to create value, offer solutions, and contribute meaningfully to society through a sustainable and impact venture. This is not a masterclass question. Why did you give us such a structured response? But anyway, I love it. And you even put it in bold, Seth. That's to communicate, the deep passion. Thank you for that, Chris. Okay, Emmanuel's why is securing the future for myself and my family. I don't have business experience from home. I worked in the bank for about 10 years back in Nigeria. Me and you same, Emmanuel, and I wanted to into business and really wanted to follow my passion and build wealth for my generation. That's also a very good reason. As a diligent banker for 15 years back home, I passionately served. I'm sure this energy won't be forever. And I need to start something that will be there when the energy is gone. I can see myself in you guys. And I can see you guys in myself, but I can relate to that, to be honest. I always have that feeling that God, and which is the reason why, even as a business owner, I don't do bare minimum. I put in my everything because I have that feeling that, this is I'm young, yeah. I'm not, I'm young. I'm not 50, I'm not, some age yet. So like I can push and push and do like lots more now so I can rest later. Hopefully we'll be able to take that rest, when we really want to take it. But yes, I can relate to that. Okay, Muyua says, business is more tasking than 9 to 5, but fun when you put all your efforts in one business. That is it. That's what I just finished saying. I put all my efforts, You have to put all your effort to it. You can't say, I'm looking for where I will relax. So night business itself might be more stressful. I don't have closing time. I don't rest. So guys, really prepare for that. But it depends on the kind of business you do as well. Anyway, so my other one is that I admire you, ROKY, my secret mentor. You're an inspiration to many. That's good to know. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. Olumuyiwa says, my why is that I've been in business in Nigeria and I've been looking for a way to find the right way to go about it here in the UK. That's good. I've done business for the last 13 years before relocating 2 years ago. I've been leaving money on the table. I need to start here. And I also get the freedom that comes with it and cut the stress that comes with care job. But I'm worried about the condition on my visa that limits me to only care job. I love that. But don't worry, as we proceed to probably answer some questions. If at the end your questions have not been answered, I'm here. My why is to bring value to the real estate industry and leverage technology to make it easier for people to invest and mentor the next generation. And that is from Paul. Okay. So, else is why, or probably you heard your why in my own why, but I see you all, and to be honest, I can relate with all the whys. So let's get on with it. And I love the fact that this has been interactive so far. This is how we need to talk to each other, right? So why start a business in the UK? There are so many reasons why, to be honest, in this UK, more than even in Nigeria, you need a business. The flexible family time, to enjoy time for your family, to be there for your kids. Yeah, there's a lot of child care runs, this and that, school, this, drop off for activity, this one and that one. But if you run your own business, it can give you time for, all of these things. Vacation resources, of course. You can have access to international travel, Okay, no, I think they're saying, this slide is saying the reason why the UK is a good place, to start a business. Personally, like I said, why start a business? Independence, financial independence, freedom to actually do, freedom to just escape some systemic issues that are that happen in the workplace here. Because I don't know if you all can relate, but even when you land a very good job, there's just that heavy weight that still remains. I don't know if you guys can relate to it, but when I was in 9 to 5, even though I had a very good job, I just could not wait to just be on my own, not even be, because you can't really escape from systemic issues like racism and all of that completely, because but still you can get yourself a level of freedom, and shield if you do your own thing and you're not dependent. Yeah. Okay, so I think fashion has been my dream since childhood, but I felt limited back home in Nigeria. But since moving to the UK, I found hope, opportunities, and a greater sense of believing in myself. I want to build my brand here, not just for financial freedom, but because I truly want to create something that is mine. I'm even exploring the global talent visa now, and that alone has pushed me to take my dreams very seriously. Just like some people said about the UK, there's support, towards starting businesses. There's so many sessions, so many, the government wants people to get into business. That's the truth. Because if you get into business, you pay taxes, you employ people, you would actually there'll be economic activity that would benefit the government and the economy as a whole, right? There are so many untapped markets in the underserved communities that some of us also are trying to solve. There's so many problems to solve. And, success requires preparation of perfection and action, clarity, or perfection always meets action, really, right? And UK is a good place. Just like most of you have said, this is the snapshot of my own life as an entrepreneur as well. I'm able to go on vacation. As you can see, I was right there in Dubai, right? And this is just like a snapshot of my journey in the last 3 years. This was my first ever speaking engagement in Manchester, right on the top left hand side. And the middle one is me speaking on Channels Television about, is it AI or something tech. And this was me in Dubai. This was me at an award that RKY Careers was a finalist for at the Tech Startup of the Year. And this is me with my team, right, at our last business retreat. And this is me on Mother's Day. This was such an emotional moment for me. I think I made a post about it. The fact that I was able to be there for my son and my daughter at their nurseries on Mother's Day. There's usually I've never been that parents. Maybe my partner used to go to be, there's one garden, can it come, mothers should come, or can it come? I don't know if you guys used to make it to those things, but I've never made it there, which I don't think, is good. But for the first time, I showed up, and I was able to show up because, for the first time, there was Mother's Day, and I was on my own, right? I could choose to go to the office or not go to the office. I could choose, and I was there for my kids. How many of you want that? Being able to be there for your children when they need you, just like some of you said as well. And then, yeah, so this is just a snapshot to just corroborate with what most of you have said, about, being there, family time, living something for your family, and all of that. How many of you can relate to that? How many of you would also want to be there for your family? How many of you, anyway, there's no need to ask because I've read most of your whys, and most of you also want to be there for your family. So for those of you that also mentioned, about, making your stay in the UK. So this is another reason why you should consider starting a business based on the white paper that was released recently, right? The UK is no longer right, is no longer favoring some type of visas anymore, and they want to focus on some other types of visas. I'm sure we all had our interpretation to what the white paper was independently, and you've leveraged resources around you too as well. However, the government is trying to ease the process of getting the innovator founder visa, which is still very much even not so difficult to get. Then we also have the global talents visa, which some of you have also said you are exploring, which you can get either from the tech category, art and culture, and then the academia category. A lot of people who are founders are also able to gather their evidences to position themselves for global talents visa. The innovator visa founder is a visa that allows you to become a UK citizen in 3 to 4 years. In 3 to 4 years. How many of you have heard about the innovator visa? If you have heard about this visa, comment innovator in the chat box. Okay, some of you have done good. So this is okay. Would you like to know more about this visa for those of you who have not heard about it? So it's a 3 years visa where what you need is to have a business idea that is scalable, viable, and that has the potential to grow and scale in the UK. And for people who are always favored for this visa as well, having a business background or just having an idea really helps. And I can tell you for a fact that we've worked with about 2 to 3 people. We have an endorsement specialist we work with, not RKY, but what we do is that we try to find partners, that have solutions that would that our people need. I know what my people need. I know we have a community of people who have learned tech or who want to transition to tech, and I know that the next thing is okay. Once we get a job, or the next thing is we want visa, we want this. So what we do is that when we find people that have these solutions, we bring them, we partner with them, and we can talk about their services. So the process of getting this visa is very simple. You have to get an endorsement first from some bodies. They call them endorsement bodies. They used to be about 20 something, but recently, or a couple of years ago, government reduced them to just 4. These 4 bodies, they will look through your business plan and every other thing. And when they do that, they will endorse and say, oh, this person's idea makes sense. It's good for us. UK, give them visa. So that's what they do. And when they do that and you have your endorsements, you have 98% chance of getting your visa, because there's really nothing. It's just like the global talents. Once you have endorsements, the next thing is to apply for visa. And this one, you can also bring your family. Either you can do this straight from Nigeria as well, from anywhere you are. You can bring your family, and you can even have a co-founder on this. So if you have a brother too that wants to come, or somebody that's not in your family, you and your best friend, you can be under one idea, and 2 of you will be owners of the company. Some recent adjustments were made to the visa that now allow people to be on this visa and also get a job. So long as the job they get will not mean that they will neglect the business, because the business also needs to run. Because there are some things you need to meet, there are some conditions you need to meet by the end of the 3 years, so you can go on the what's it called? God bless you guys. Good to know you guys are following. Good to know you guys are following. 1 second, guys. Before now, you need to have about £50,000. Before now, you need to have £50,000 in your own account to show that, oh, this is the money I'm bringing to the UK for this business. Because of course, if you don't have money, which business are you coming to do? The one business that will hit the ground running, right? But but now you don't need to have that 50K in your own account anymore. It could be in any accounts. It could be in an investor's account. And then the person will just write that I'm investing 50K in this person's business. I'm investing 50K in this business, and that would count as your 50K. So you need to just be able to show that there's 50K to 60K somewhere that you are going to be bringing with you to the UK for this business. And what else? You have to be 18 plus, So this is like the easiest visa to be on. Right, but the thing is, you need to have the right intention to run the business. And one thing I always tell people is that for you to get this visa, for instance, you might need to probably reframe or rebrand your idea. However, when you get the visa under the business, you can diversify. If you know that this product that you built or something is not enough, you can diversify. I know someone, for instance, that we helped to get this visa as far back as 2 years or 3 years ago. The idea, she's always been a retail person. The idea she had was related to, I think she used to be a grocery person, which is to say that there's nobody that can do it. And I think when she took her idea, I think she had one African hair, they said most of those ideas were already taken. And the good thing is that, the innovator and the endorsement specialists, not the body now, the ones that would work with you to get the endorsements, they would look at your idea and they will tell you how to make it tech enabled, because the idea has to be tech enabled. It has to either be an app or a website, or, let me give you a very good example. If you say, I want to do taxi business, or I want to do cleaning, I'm a cleaner, I want to go and clean. I want to come and clean in the UK. Is that innovative or not? Do you think that is innovative? Are we still together or I'm alone?
It's not
I don't think
innovative.
it's innovative.
It
It's
can
not
be made,
innovative.
it's not
at all.
innovative, but it can be made
Something that's been
innovative.
existing.
Thank you. However, with that same idea, or with that same in mind, you could say, my idea is to connect taxi drivers and people that want to take a taxi. Who knows what that business is? Who knows what that business is? Who has an idea?
Uber.
That's Uber.
Now, Uber,
Is Uber not a tech business? Is Uber not a tech?
It is.
Of course it is.
That's using technology to drive transport.
Exactly. So you can now get that and then do more, do everything you want to do under the same company name, when you get the visa, to make sure there's some money entering the business and, the business is running. So that's how you make it tech enabled. I think this lady she had to change it to like a startup expansion business. Guess what the real thing she was doing after she got the visa? Personal shopping. But that is not to say that, you get the visa and do something else. Just make sure you do an activity that, is bringing money into the business. So even if you can make hair or cleaning agency, what is the problem that cleaning agencies or companies are facing that you can solve with technology? Is it a booking app for cleaning agency? There's one guy I met at an award. Like I said, I was nominated for the Black British Business Awards, and it's a gang kind of award. You have to go for judging day, you have to do videos, submit this. So when I met, and the guy is also a Nigerian like us. He moved to the UK way longer, but he started his business just the same year I started my business, although he's been in the UK since 2007 or so. And what's his business? I think his business is, did he say he said prop tech. And I'm very curious. So I asked him, because I'm also into property, but I know I'm not like, so I'm like, okay, tell me, how do you bring tech into the property? And what he said was that, we help people, we are like Airbnb, but for companies. So we help companies that want to book Airbnb or short stays for their executive and staff, right? So our app is where they get the book, because a company will want to book for their listing and go to bookings.com. How would I know that they can't go to bookings.com? But guess what? That's his own problem that he's solving. And his business has also won loads of awards, and he's also like full-time business owner. What am I trying to say? If he came and he said, I want to do Airbnb is already existing. What's innovative about it? But the thing is either you are defining your audience as different, or you are defining your solution as different. So that's what they call the unique selling points. You need to have your own unique selling points. But enough about that, So talking about, but that's that about the Innovator Founder Visa. Anyway, if you want to know more about Innovator Founder Visa, or if you want us to like link you up with the endorsement specialist we work for, first of all, you need to have £50,000 somewhere in an account somewhere with your mentor or somebody that can show that, and and I think they also, of course, they charge a fee for reviewing, for creating a business plan for you and everything. I think their fee is about £10,000 or £9,000 if it's one founder. But this is like a possible route to explore. If you want to find out more, if you think you are ready, you have everything, right, and you want to know more, you can get their brochure, read about their processes, send a mail to support@rkycareers.com, and we'll send that to you. There's also the Global Talents Visa. This is a bit tricky too, but it's also a very good visa. It's a 5 or 3 years visa where you just need to show evidences that you are a leader or promise in your field. One of the categories of evidences might be you being a founder as well. So, which is where a lot of people, they might have a role that's, it's not even relevant to being global talent. And people wonder that, but you got global talent and you say you're a lawyer. Lawyer is not part of the list, but they got it not because of their lawyer role. They got it because of the other things they are doing by the side that you don't know, or the company they founded, or the business they are running, right, as part of their evidences. We used to have the startup visa, but I think this one, they've merged it with the Innovator Founder Visa. And another route, which I think is quite popular among our people, is this self-sponsorship that people keep saying, self-sponsorship. Self-sponsorship isn't very different from the normal sponsorship. It's just that, you are just more involved in the business than just looking for a third party to sponsor you. But even with self-sponsorship, if you are an immigrant, you still need to get a British person to be on your director list, and you also need to have a good intention to run the business. I know so many people that they started running their business genuinely before they even knew that there was an opportunity that they could use for self-sponsorship. And when the opportunity came, they were able to leverage it. So You need to have your rights wise, and you need to have a real intention of starting a business and running a business, right? But these are alternatives that you can explore as a business owner, right? To guarantee your stay. And these are, to be honest, these are more guaranteed and smoother than the other way around, right? Even with this skilled worker visa, I know someone that was brought here on skilled worker visa of an employer. The employer didn't lose their license, but they just dismissed the person just like that. And now the person is, so there's so much risk to this skilled worker visa, and so there's nothing like owning your own thing, right? So how many of you are motivated and want to start your own thing? How many of you are still on track to start your own business? Hey,
I think a lot of us are, to be honest. That's why we are here.
Beautiful. Right. So where do you start from? So the first thing you need to ask yourself, some of you already have your clear paths about, okay, is events planning, is events management, but you need to also think about it. How do I make it innovative? One thing I always do when I do my things, the way I do, if you've been following my way, if you've been following me and the way I do things to meet every standard possible, even before needing those standards. I do my own things, and I do it, the right way. At the moment, if I needed a visa, there's no visa that I don't qualify for or that I can't get. If I go for Innovator, I will get it. If I go for Global Talents, I'll get it. If I needed one. What am I trying to say? You need to build, boldly, and you need to build, with, if anything was doing, should be done, well. Should be done well. So first thing you need to ask yourself, what do people ask for your help with? What are you good at? So this is for people that don't even know where they want to start from. What are you good at? What do people ask for your help with that you do and enjoy doing? Can I get some responses to that in the chat box?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Famous.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Good afternoon, ma'am. All right, thank you, ma'am. Back home in Nigeria, I have a school business. And since I got here since 2023, though I'm a student, I just finished May. I've been trying to make serious investigation on how to start the school business here in the UK. So I have been to a lot of places. They always direct me to go to their secretariat, then which I went to. So I got there. I asked them on how to start my business. They gave me a link to register with, which I did. I have done the registration since last month. I've been waiting for them to hear from them. So I've tried all of this. I have seen that all they've been telling me is to hold on. So discovering this platform, I see it as a better avenue for me to start up. So as I am, by the grace of God, I think I'm really ready to start the business here in the UK. But the challenge I'm having now is how to get, most of these things they tell me I need to get a British that can be my director and all of that. Well, I don't know anybody that is a British here. And I don't even know how to continue. But to be sincere, I'm really ready to start up this school business here in this UK. So joining this group now, I think is an advantage for me as well to know how to continue with my plans.
Right. So thanks for that. So the first thing is that...
Did you get me, man?
I can hear you. I heard you. So your industry, right? Your industry, which is like school, right? Who is the regulator in your industry? Ofsted, right?
Sorry?
Who is the regulator of your industry?
Can you come again, man? The network.
The regulator of your industry.
Okay, but
So are you Ofsted registered?
Is it back home or here in Nigeria?
What kind of school? Is it secondary
No, I've
school?
not been registered. What I'm saying is both primary and secondary back home in Nigeria.
So you want to own a private school, or you want to start a nursery, or what? What do you want to do exactly? When you say school business, because that's quite big.
I want to own private school here in the UK because that is what I practice in Nigeria. I want to have it here in the UK, but all my findings, I've not been able to get a response that will make me start and the way to go about it. But in Nigeria, I have both primary and secondary.
Right. So have you looked at the markets for primary and secondary school business here in the UK? What is the market? Because before you go into a business, not just because, oh, I used to do it in Nigeria, what's your market like? Who are the people that are doing for private school?
I do. That is what I want to try to get, but my target is to work on the middle class and then to as well operate in a manner which the school can be convenient for as long as you are working and you know you can still spare some money for your children. I don't mind.
Right. So what I would do if I was in your shoe and I want to start a school business is that, first of all, who is the regulator of that industry? Ofsted. For you to even get a job, maybe to manage a nursery or manage a school or something, you probably need to pass some MVQ or MVQ stages. Have you passed them? Are you an Ofsted manager? How about even start by managing, becoming an Ofsted registered manager, which is very much in demand. And guess what? There's so many people I know that want to start nursery businesses that have the funds and everything. But what they're looking for is an Ofsted manager to start a business with, which will be good for someone that wants to eventually start his own. To even take it as a job first and learn on the job and see the risks that business owners take. Because you can't go into a business based on emotions and based on it's only what I did in Nigeria, right? How many people even pay for private school here in the UK? What's the market like? Have you done your feasibility study? How do you set up that school? Because you can't just say you want to set up school and you're passionate about it. What's the journey to setting up school? There's some businesses that if you want to start them, is either you have capital, or you have contacts, or you have both. You even need to have both, So anyways, like I said, it's not like a one-to-one session, but right, those are the questions you need to ask yourself if you want to start any business. You don't just do it because that's what I did in Nigeria. In Nigeria, there's a big market for schools because people always pay for schools. Do you know the capital you need to start a school here? How much of you need to already have you need to be able to pay rent of your place that you want to use for the school for so many months even before you get the approval. Do you have that capital? And that's another thing. Most of us focus on, maybe plans that might not be feasible in this environment, but there are ways you can come in very easily. How about even trying to start a nursery, which is less capital intensive? Everybody pay for nursery at some certain points. And even if people don't pay you for nursery, you can get funding from government if you get Ofsted registered. And that can be your way into education. But that's just, a one-off advice. I will stop that at this point and go on to the next. But I'm sure everybody have learned one or two things from that. This environment is different, highly regulated across businesses. You need to first of all look at what are the regulations of your industry. You need to do a lot of research as well, right? And again, what's the market like? Is there really a market? Are people really strong? Are people hustling to pay? Are people rushing private schools? Even people that have money, how many of them are taking their children to private schools? If you have a private school, can you make your private school the best? Do you have that capital and resources to make your private school unique and stand out so you can attract the customers to that you need that will pay you?
Only government have that money.
Not really, but those are the things you need to think about. Anyway, so let's talk about what do people ask you. Let's go and check the chat box and see responses that people have dropped. Yeah. Organization and administration. I love baking, and people always commend and encourage me to start up a business relating to it. That's a good starting point. I love styling people and sketching designs. People usually ask me to help them pick up outfits and sketch one for them. That's a good one. Private school standards are very high in the UK, and there are loads of them. And I totally agree with you. Those who send their kids to private schools consider the track record of the school. Yeah, the Ofsted, this Ofsted score, especially with the 20% VAT now. This is not even the time, because people that were even taking their children to private school before, government have said that private school people have to pay VAT, meaning the rich will pay more taxes. So even people are withdrawing their children from private school. So you might want to think about all of that. You need to check what are the regulations that are coming out. Do they favor you? Is this the time to sell your house in Nigeria that you want to relocate to the UK because one agency says you should bring money? Is that not high risk? Because the government has even said don't come anyway. So that's what we're saying. Private school, okay, but I'm sure we all understand it's the reasoning that is most important here. Modupe, do you want to tell us something before we move on?
No, sorry, I raised my hand up earlier when you asked a question, something. I forgot to put it down.
Okay, I would love to start online class for kids who is slow in learning. Right. So for anything kids, that's where the Ofsted come in. And for those that are like, if it's like care related, then that's where CQC also come in. Slow in learning. Are you talking about the SEND, but anyway, let's leave that. This is not a school business masterclass. Let's consider. So anyway, once you can identify that thing that people ask for your help with, or that you are good at, or that you already do, or that is even like your 9-to-5 role, just, then the next thing is to turn that expertise into services or products. Turn it into services or products, put a price to it, and then offer clear solutions to the problems that exist. You might want to go into an industry. The first thing to do is, what problem are you solving? What problem are you solving? So there are people that can go from, okay, I'm a teacher in my 9-to-5. I'm tired of teaching. Okay, I would start tutoring. I'll start a tutoring business. I'll start. Before you even I'll start a tutoring business. I'm a finance person. Okay, I can start an accounting practice. I have all the qualification, because here is not a place where you do things. If you do things without getting the appropriate regulation, you will be offered rates that are below market rate as well. So that's just a little bit about that. So starting smart, you need to start with the right foundation, register, legal structure, which is exactly what we've just talked about. There are a couple of industries that are not highly regulated. They might actually be easy entry. Also within your industry, say for instance, let's look at the care. Starting a care home can be quite expensive and can have quite a large regulation to it. However, having an agency that serves the care industry might not require that level of regulation. So you need to identify, you need to do your own research, and you need to know your industry and know the regulations and what are the regulations to start and all of that. You need to register your business, do things right from day one. You never know when you would need to present. Choose your structure. Is it limited? Is it sole trader? Is it partnership? And then you need to officially register your business in the appropriate places. Please, let's meet ourselves, from companies house to HMRC to having a business account. If you want to do business, then do business and have a standard, which is one of the things that separates side hustles for businesses. When I started what is now RKY Group now, I remember then that there were so many people that were doing bits and pieces of what I was doing, but my vision was different and my vision was bigger, but people didn't understand. Of course, there will also be copycats that will just see one thing you're doing, they're copying that thing, but they don't even know where you are going, right? And that is also what made me different and what made us to be where we are today. Everything I've done from start. Yes, I started RKY Careers, maybe a few months into it was when I now officially registered it, but was intentional. I got a lot of advice then. Don't register your company, you pay tax. Don't do this, don't. But I don't listen to all of those things, because guess what? Even as a company owner, if you don't make profits, you don't pay tax. Why are you running away from registering your company? Why are you running away from using your business bank accounts? Profits is paid, tax is paid on profits, not on your revenue. Of course, until you get to VAT level. And for you to pay VAT, you need to have made up to 85K in revenue. Right? Also, doing things right, digital presence, it gives validity and credibility to your business, right? And also start lean and look legitimate from day one, which is also very important. Which is also very important, yeah? So I'm just going to read a couple of comments that we have here. You said it all, research is critical at this stage. Yes, so because you can afford to get it wrong. I'm a good product development manager, business manager. I think I can extend the food division of my business in Nigeria in another form here. Exactly. So there could be another form to come in, that's just look at the problem here for that your same industry and same business could be a different problem that you would solve, To start a private school in the UK, the person needs to be ready to have passed. No, not here. Not here. Not. Said mine. To start a private school in the UK, the person needs to be ready to have passed through their safeguarding rules and Ofsted before it can be approved. It can be capital intensive as well. Their public school in the UK is working well. So the best thing to do is start with a nursery first to get into the education industry, which is exactly what I also said. Where can I register my company? What do you think about joining a franchise? I took a course with OISC approved institutes, waiting to take my exam so I can commence registration. I'm also good at breaking down complex law situations. To people, that OISC, that's what you need to be an immigration consultant, isn't it? Or to give advice of immigration. A lot of people don't even know that. Okay, but that's a good one. Well done, Abiola. So scaling with strategy as well. When you want to set up and to scale a successful business, you need to set up your automation, your processes, especially in this environment where we are multitasking and doing a lot together. You need to have automation in place. You need to have a process. Right. So another mistake that most people make, especially people like us when they set up business, is that they are very nonchalant with customer service. Please don't be one of those that will be caught in those kind of situation. You need to take your customer service top notch. Because you have 9 to 5 or you are juggling shift or you have children, it's not an excuse for you to treat a customer badly. Most people and that's why you would notice when people say, oh, you gave something to somebody and they did not do it well. The first question they ask you that, is it Niger? Is it, the moment, that's not a good question, right? But the thing is that we shouldn't inculcate that kind of habit that makes people feel that when you engage, some certain kind of people for business, you're likely not to get the best value for your money, right? So another thing, support, hire freelancers, know when to delegate, get a virtual assistant. There's a way you can get staff in low income environments as well. Visibility, invest in visibility, regardless of your kind of business. There's always, a kind of PR and, partnerships events. Go for networking events. Come to LWB next week. If you are not coming to LWB next week, you're not doing yourself a favor, right? Pricing, charge the appropriate price for your business, that you want. Don't just grow smartly and sustainably. Right. Another thing why I'm sure you guys have learned one or two things here, which is why mentorship and coaching also matters. When you get the right, even as I speak, I have mentors and I have coaches that I go to ask questions when it's difficult. I won't lie, when I started, I didn't really have all of those resources. And I can tell you that, there were some mistakes I made. And to be honest, we still make mistakes every day that you learn from and, learn from the next time you want to do the same. However, in order to avoid some common mistakes that a lot of people have passed through and, get a mentor and coach, like do it with support. Strategic direction as well. Those are the reasons why you get strategic direction. You avoid, mistakes with your branding, legal standing, and all of that. A mentor shortens your learning curve, and a coach keeps you accountable. So, what are the 7 mistakes that kill startups? The first one is waiting for the perfect time. So, for all of you that introduce yourself as aspiring, we need to leave that aspiring WhatsApp group, right? We need to leave the aspiring WhatsApp group and start something. Start today. Don't wait for a perfect time. There's never a perfect time. Yes, you might not be able to go full scale into probably what exactly you were doing, maybe in back home or wherever you are doing it from, but you can start, something today. There's never a perfect moment to start. And skipping validation, test your idea before you fully invest into it. And I think that message is for who? Is it famous now? Test your idea, get your Orsted registration, go and work as a nursing manager, go and work, in that industry. Don't just invest all your money, right, without the right information and research before going full neck deep. And there are some businesses you start lean. I'm always like, I start my businesses lean. I never get investment. I never invest a lot of money, right? I love low risk, what's it called, kind of businesses, right? Test your idea, and then don't neglect branding. Don't just do anyhow. Don't just do things anyhow, because you never know. I went, like I said, I keep mentioning that what I went to, because there were some things that happened there that, to be honest, and it's not even the first time. There are so many places I've been to recently, in some rooms I've entered. And when I hear people that say, oh, I know you, I met the founder of this award, it's a very reputable and big award. And the person was like, oh, before we got your nomination from whoever nominated you, I've known you. I'm like, okay. I know you, and I love how you position yourself on LinkedIn, and I love how you do this, and I love how you do that. And I'm like, okay, that's good to know. And that's not the first person. So many people that you just randomly meet, and they'll be like, oh, and I'm not talking about like within the immigrant community. I'm talking about, like within the entrepreneurial space, like. And they're like, oh, I know you, I know your brand. I mean, there were some speakers too that we have on LWB speaking, whatever that, in their own space as well. They are doing really well. And then, when we wrote to them to come speak at LWB, the reception was really warm and fast. And they were like, oh, we know you. I know you. And like, you know me. Like, yes, I know you. And you recently even expanded. You'll be surprised. People are watching. You need to do things right. And do things, do not joke with your brand from day one. And I've always invested in my brand from day one. Customer journey matters from day one. Underpricing your offers. Charge based on value, not fear. You need to charge based on value. Don't say, oh, maybe they will not buy, maybe they will buy. On this pricing one, probably I need to still take some lessons as well, because I think all my prices are always, very considerate. But anyways, DIY everything. A lot of people always try to DIY everything. You can't do everything yourself. And guess what? We have an advantage. Do you know that we have an advantage as people who have a back home that we can refer to? That's our advantage, and it's a very strong advantage. This is a secret I'm telling you guys. Our fellow counterparts right now are also sourcing for staff outside of the UK. They are sourcing for staff in South Africa, in Philippines, and co. And guess how much they are still paying this staff? They are still paying this staff, I know there's so many people that will come to me and say, oh, I have a solution for you. I run a recruitment agency that help you get staff from Africa. You only pay them £1,200 monthly. Kineko. Of course, half of that money will not get to the people they are giving the jobs to. 1 second. Shut up. But what am I trying to say? But me and you here, we know how to manage our back home people as well, that you can employ, virtual assistants. There's so many people that They are able to run their business because they have a virtual assistant, and that advantage is an advantage you need to leverage. That should also, because you can get, employees at low cost environments, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Does anybody understand what I've just said? Are we still together, guys? You guys have left me.
Yeah, so we're together.
Well,
Yes,
where are we running
to?
Okay, so premature scaling as well. A lot of people get into this trap of scaling prematurely. And when I say premature scaling, is that, say for instance, you have a process, you have a 9 to 5, you're juggling, but you also have something that you're selling. But if you get like 2 orders, you can still come back home after work and package those 2 orders. You've promised customer it's 5 working days and you can deliver that within 5 working days. However, you now went to, you want to scale. You want to get somebody to make a video for you, or you want to run an ad that you are doing a sales or something, and then you go 1,000 orders in one day. And then who is going to do the packaging and everything? And your resources are limited. At the end, I know some people that have made this mistake and exposed their brand, even back in Nigeria, that they will go and do sales and thousands of people will now shop. They will not be able to fulfill all the orders. That's one way of premature scaling. Another way is scaling before you are ready. Like, just like I said, even in service business, it's possible to scale before you are ready. You go take services that you don't have the resources to do, right? I don't know if you guys are getting me, and then avoiding guidance. I say, I can do it myself. I don't need a coach. I don't need you end up doing the same thing, and paying more for it. Like people that will go do things, But anyway, avoiding guidance is very important to get a coach, and get guidance on this journey. Right. So at this point, I'm now going to introduce you to the RKY Business Coaching Program, which is a 10 weeks program where you'll be working directly with me, right, to start your business journey. It's limited because I'll be only working with only a few founders per course, because I'm going to be personally involved in their businesses, just as you have seen me get with some of the people that we have here, right? However, there are 2 types of program that you can get on that. There's the one-to-one, if you want to be like just me and you, sit down, let's be looking at your business together. And there's the myself and yourself and maybe 10 to 15 other founders in a session weekly. And guess what? My own sessions, so just for those of you that have been in our training program, our sessions are very practical. If week 1, if we say vision, whatever we say week 1 is, you go back and go and do real life actioning of whatever we've learned. Because at the end of that program, you must have a business, and you must have a business and be ready to take on your first clients, right? I don't know if you all get my points. So for those of you that are serious, I don't want too many people because I can't overstretch myself as well. I don't want too many people. I only want, 1 second, guys. Right. So, what was I saying? So, if you want to work with me, if you've heard all of this, you are ready, and you want to take the next step, there's more, because this is where this actually ends. For today's masterclass, which I believe has been informative enough so far. Which I think has been informative and enlightening and inspiring for all those that will take action. But next steps, right, is for you. If you want to work with me directly, there's a way you can work with me. We've got 2 packages. The one-to-one exclusive coaching program where me and you will meet every week to discuss and to actually action different areas, personalized areas. And there's also the group one, where between 10 to 15 founders would work with me, right, to start their business. Ordinarily, I'm a very busy person. I don't even on RKY Career Training, I don't take any particular courses myself. However, this one I'm dedicating myself because guess what? We had the Immigrant Founders Network for quite some months, and when we did, most people wanted one-to-one, and guess what? I can't overstretch myself to be supporting people individually, and that was why we decided to rebrand and come up with, so a way that I can support people as well to help others rise and help others achieve their goals. So we have the first cohort starting July. I think the start date for the next cohort is July 19th. I think, was it July 19th or 26th? So what would you get at the end of each of these sessions, right? You get outcome-based live session, hand-holding and support, one-on-one access to, myself. You also get a free company website, which is a simple website, right? And then access to, the community, the founders community for peer support. Right. So this is what your roadmap is going to look like. You're going to get clarity with your business idea and niche. If you're going to also get, to make it tech enabled as well. For those of you that the business is not tech enabled, right? Your business idea is not tech enabled. So you're going to get support with setting up your, registering your business. I think one person was asking, how do I set up my business, your pricing, how to set up your pricing and all of that, strategy, branding, marketing, customer journey. We're also going to be bringing people that, will fill in those gaps. Okay, so after you've learned, how do you now go ahead? How do you get your first this? How do you get that? And then, of course, you're going to go public with visibility and confidence, and you're going to scale smartly as well. So, I think we're going to share the link to so like I said, for the first 10 people that secure their slots, you get to secure your slot at just £750, which you can pay in installment as well. The link will be dropped in chat box. You can pay in up to 3 to 4 installments. I'll drop the link for us to. Let me also take you to the curriculum of what will be covered in the business coaching program because everything is ready. But so far, how many of us, okay, Paul, you have your hand up. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, thank you, Rookie. This has been quite enlightening and informative. My question is, now for someone who is not ready now to enlist in this coaching program, how often do you hold it? Is it every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, so that one can plan towards the next one, if possible?
Right. I love that question. Right. But because, like I said, this program is solely like I'll be bringing experts in from time to time, but I want to personally, because I've got all what I want to pour into you guys. I've got experience across a wide range of industries, as you can tell. This is the first one is going to be July. And after July, I think we'll be able to have another one again before the end of this year. But the first one is, let me see. Yeah, we might still be able to have one more before the end of this year, right? So that's about how often it is, but it's not going to be like, every month. No. It's not like Bugberu kind of thing, right? It's an exclusive program. Did that answer your question, Paul?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Beautiful. So I want to take you through the So I've dropped the link for you guys, for those that want to secure their slots to do so. You can just pay your initial deposits now. The next cohort starts 19th of June, right? And like I said, it's a 10-week program. So the first week is going to start with vision and validation, where we're going to create our vision board, validate our business, idea. So the good thing is that after every session, there's something for you to go back home to do. And those things are not just assignments. They are like steps towards the business itself. Say, for instance, maybe week 1, we could say, everybody go register your business before you come back to the next class. So the next one, might be, okay, we are creating content. We're having a content, if for the class for content, for instance, everybody will have to create their content, and start pushing it out there. We're all going to be supporting each other towards it. So this is more like, it's an accelerator program to actually kickstart you. So the second week is going to be business modeling and business model and proposition, where we're going to be reviewing, okay, so what's your business model? What's your pricing model? And all of that. And then the third week is going to be about legal and compliance. This is where we're going to look at all the regulations around, the different businesses. Like I said, I only want to work with about 10 founders so that we can, all do research about your different businesses together, right? And then we're going to move to branding and visibility. I hope you guys can still see my screen. Branding and visibility, where you are going to work on establishing your brand identity, your voice, and your market presence, right? So, and then, we're going to be developing your website. Like I said, we're going to give you your minimum viable product, which is, a simple website. For those that want complex website, that might attract an extra cost, because some website development stuff is more than this cost we've just mentioned for the coaching class. Right, but for every class, there's something for you to do, such that at the end, you are going to have like everything ready. I'm currently working with a one-to-one client, who is starting a property business, and there's so many other opportunities as well that you can leverage from this community if you are like, our coaching clients, like from speaking engagements, to branding, visibility, and all of that. Like speaking engagement that is outside of what's it called? Like outside of scope of what we are talking about today as the normal pecs. And then we've got the website and systems integration as well. Where, okay, how to set up your booking pages, your payment system integration, your landing page, your link tree, right? Then marketing and growth. Every business, must be able to sell. You must be able to sell. Right, and customer acquisition and marketing is very important. And then, like I said, content strategy and how to become an authority in your space. In this LinkedIn, in this UK, if you want to do a business, right, the way building what's it called, with confidence and visibility and as an authority is also a marketing tool on its own. Is a marketing tool on its own. People need to actually trust your brand. Right, and then PR and media positioning, launching and high value networking, and then I think we have some other things like elevator pitches, how to position yourself for funding. We're going to be bringing funding experts to talk to us about that, because I never raised funds, but I know so many people around me that always prepare people to be funding and investments ready. Right, how to build your business plan, cash flow, client onboarding templates, your clients' proposals, your business models, website content mapping, CRM setup, pricing calculator templates, and so much more. So that's just a sneak peek, right, into what you will get in the business coaching program. So do we have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ridwan. Yeah, and thanks for this masterclass. Most of us are, let me say 70% of people in this group are on skilled visa. If my rating is right, can someone on skilled visa register a company in UK? Is it possible for someone to register a company while still on skilled visa in UK? Is it possible?
All right, thanks for that question. I know that question has been asked. I've been in a session where they asked an immigration consultant that question, and I think, they went through the skilled worker visa, whatever, and there's no restriction that you can't start a business. However, Because I know that something went viral recently about someone that didn't get so because I think it's about the tax. If you are running a business, because some people, that's and which is why we're having this session. The fact that you are offering services, people, you have a brand name, you have Instagram, you have this. That's not the business itself. That's not like you need to do things right. You need to register, get all the regulations, pay your taxes as and when you are meant to pay them, right? So I don't think there's any rule or law that says that, you know, someone on skilled worker visa cannot register a business. I don't know if you get my point. And if that's the case, if you are not so sure, then your dependents can register this business. Hold on.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other question? Please ask your questions because we need to tackle that. What is stopping you, from starting?
Yeah, excuse me.
Please proceed.
Yeah, please. I didn't see is there a pricing point? I missed part of the lecture. I had to step out to do something. So
Right,
in the slide, was there a point that had the pricing point for this?
Yes, that's what's on the screen at the moment. So there are two packages. There's
I heard about the two packages, yeah.
Yeah, so the group one is £750, and the exclusive one-to-one, you don't want to be in meeting with other people, you just want to talk to me alone, is
Okay, no problem. And you said it's 10 weeks, so the next cohort will be after 10 weeks, will be probably after the end of this first cohort.
Exactly, most likely.
So those of us that want to be ready next, we need to go and get our stuff in order.
Exactly.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Benedict?
Yeah, hi, Ruki. Hello. Ruki, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, my question might come off, but now it's not really off. It's just to answer my doubt, to clear my doubt. So first of all, to my knowledge, I understand if you're on skilled worker visa and you're the main applicant, you are not allowed to start a business, but your dependent can. Dependent visa is not restricted, but for the main applicant, that's why I said I'm not sure, but that's what I thought. So you, as the main applicant, you're not supposed to start up a business. That's one. And then if that be the case, and again, for the main applicant, if going by the calculation towards ILR, so please just pardon me, it may not really be off. I just want to clear my doubts as to the next step towards business. That's all. Towards ILR journey, if you're the main applicant that started with a student visa, your dependent, his or her own journey towards ILR, if he continues as a dependent from your student visa up until when you changed to skilled worker visa, and he continues as a dependent, so his journey towards ILR as a dependent started from your student visa when he was a dependent. So he counts, say we continue with the 5 years route, so he counts towards the 5 years. And whenever he ends up the 5 years from the student visa, that's when he can apply. So that's where my question is. Is that correct? Because the reason is, that's what I'm planning to do. If I get my calculation right, I'll now know when I'm starting up. So is this talk, what I said now, is that correct?
To be honest, I can't validate whether that is correct or not because I do not understand it. But what I know is that if you are the main applicant on a skilled worker visa, if you are the main, you can only work for 20 hours. Right. You can only work for 20 hours in another job. But your dependent might be able to apply, because your dependent has little or no restriction. So talking about, but I mean, to be honest, okay, so why are people now able to become a director and then use their directorship to get, self-sponsorship? Because when they get self-sponsorship, they are still a director and they are still sponsored on their visas, But anyway, let's leave that. Like I said, I do not know about whether or not a main applicant can register for a business because it's not stated clearly on the government's website that you can't. Right. So, but what might be the matter of this thing is that, okay, as a director, how many hours do you give into the business? Is it 20 hours? How do they prove that it's just 20 hours you are giving to the business and not more than 20 hours? But talking about whether or not you continue as that one, I didn't get that one, to be honest, because I didn't really get that. Okay, so I think maybe somebody understood it. It's not correct. Time you spent as a dependent on a student's visa does not count towards ILR, except you want to do the 10 years route. So there's the 10 years route, which is that just be on any visa for 10 good years, any valid, not 6 years, so not 6 months visit visa, and you will get. But if your dependent was a student before, and then they become skilled worker visa, that's 2 types of visas. Even if you were the skilled worker visa before, and your dependents now get sponsorship, and you people switch to the dependents, you have to start again on the person's count, not your own former count. I don't know if that now clears your question.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, cool. Okay, so Belinda says, from the knowledge I gathered, the main applicant can't be a director or a business owner. Right. Well, I don't know about that. It's not the government's website, because we just come to the government's website and they did talk about starting or running a business. However, if you have a partner, let the partner register the business, which is the reason why people are getting orders to be on their directorship so they can, now sponsor them back later or something. So if you are unsure, and by the way, you can always remove people from director, it's not a big deal to remove people, but if you will be willing to if you'll be doing more than 20 hours in another job, you will need to update your visa so that you're also sponsored to do both jobs. So, there's nothing on the government website that says you can't run a business.
I have the question, Ricky. In the last class we had with the immigration, I can't remember her name, and she said that there is no law that says that you cannot register your business as a student.
Exactly. Even as a student, Sorry,
I mean as someone on skilled work visa.
No, because as a student, you might not be able to register a business, but as
I meant skilled worker, someone on skilled worker visa. Because I asked her the question.
It's not there. If anybody was not given ILR because of business, it's because of all these TikTok people that are earning under TikTok, and they don't have registered business. They are earning under TikTok. They are not declaring taxes. When I say TikTok people, I don't mean any kind of this thing, but like there are so many people that are doing side hustles that don't have a registered business for it. And because they don't have a registered business, which is what I was telling you, that when I started my business, some people were like, don't register a business, don't use your business accounts. Things like that are things that will count against you. If I didn't do that as well too, I won't be able to confidently say I have a business. And so it's better to just do things the right way than otherwise. Do we have any other question?
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am. It's me again, Famous. Thank you for all your teaching and all of that. God will give you more wisdom in Jesus' name. Ma'am, I want to ask concerning the company registration and the opening of accounts. Can all this be done without starting up the business, or the business must have started and we do the registration and open the business accounts? I want to be clear on that, ma'am.
You can register a business at any point. In fact, if you register a business, you don't have any obligation to do anything until after 18 or 12 months of the business. And if you did not operate the business, you can always file dormant. You can always file that your business was dormant during the last 18 or 12 months. Right. But understanding your obligation when you register a business is part of the things you'll be learning, right, on the business coaching program as well. But you can register a business and not run the business per se. So you are ready. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
You can register a business without connecting it to a bank account. You can even have a bank account too without using it. So there's no restrictions per se. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question, please.
Okay, please proceed.
Good afternoon, RKY. Thank you so much for the session. So I recently registered my business, But along the line where you mentioned global talent visa, because that is actually my aim for registering that business, you said I must have like 50K.
Innovator founder visa. Innovator founder visa, not global talent.
Oh, okay. Global talent is separate, yeah? Okay, okay then. Thank you. So I don't need to have money in the account with the global talent visa, do I?
No.
Oh, super. Thank you.
Okay, my question is slightly different. I know what you have, the fees you have here, that's the Group Business Accelerator and the one-on-one are for new businesses that are starting. I was going to ask, what do you do bespoke consulting for like someone that has gone quite far? I've not registered the business name, but I've done a lot of work in terms of identifying a business I will potentially partner with. We've had a lot of discussions to identify ways to sign in, to have that synergy, even up to products and etc. But then if I need some sort of advice or support or whatever, is that something you can do?
Yes. Yes, we should have like a maybe 1 hour session business advisory service as well.
Okay. So if I reach out to you, you'll be able to have that initial consultation, then we decide what to do from there.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening. Rookie. My name is Bulao. Can you hear me?
Who is speaking? Is it Opayemi speaking or GB? Which one? So I can miss the second person. Okay, so it's Opayemi we should get. Okay, go on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So I just need more clarification. I think you speak quite well concerning the business stuff, but I want to know how long can a business run before you can sponsor yourself? Or will there be a certain amount of tax that you might have paid before you would qualify to be able to sponsor yourself? So 2 questions. One.
Right, to be honest, I'm not an immigration consultant with regards to that. Sponsoring yourself as a business is not a route on its own. It's still under skilled worker visa. It's just that you're the owner of the business in this case, which is like a loophole that people are taking advantage of at the moment. So it's not like it's a business of its own. However, I know that I've seen information out there about businesses being 3 months, businesses being so period. Businesses being 3 months old. But what I know is that there are requirements on the government's websites to get sponsorship license. This self-sponsorship, don't look at it as a type of, it's not a type of visa. Just go and look at what government has said you need to get a sponsorship license. That is what you need. Because this self-sponsorship, what it means is that you register a company, you get a sponsor. Don't forget, it's not because of you they are giving the company the sponsorship. It's because of the other person that is British that is on your... It's because of the other person mostly, not you. Because if only you apply for that, you won't get it.
Epson. Yeah, it's
if only you apply, you won't get it because you are not settled. So what you need to focus on is just look at it like I want to get sponsorship license for a business. What you need about 8 out of 10 evidences. Not evidences, documents. I don't know if it's 8 out of 10. I'm just giving a scenario. Some of them might be your payee, which you can do. Some of them might be your, if you have fiscal office rent receipt or something. If you pay VAT registration or VAT payment evidence, Some of them might be clients. If you have clients already, your clients, is it receipt or invoices or something, evidences that you have contracts, just to show that it's a real business. And now they've gone ahead, they now interview that second person that is British on your business. If the person doesn't pass the interview, they won't give the license. Because they know that people are now doing it, for other reasons, basically. But I don't know how many months it has to be. But for you to have all those things in place as well, it has to be, quite a number of months, because there needs to be inflow in and out of your business accounts. Does that answer your question?
Yes, clearly. Thanks.
Next question. We've got 7 more minutes to take questions before we call it a day.
I want to ask a question, please.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much for this. It's more like speak your advice or your opinion. So for me, I want to start a fashion brand. For now, what I mostly have are sketches and illustrations. I haven't really started anything. I have a bit of background in sewing, and I plan to get a sewing machine here. I had one in Nigeria, but I'm planning to get one here. So I wanted to ask, since I'm still pretty much in, I don't know, idea phase, would you suggest I join this particular cohort for the business accelerator program, or should I wait until the next cohort to gather more things, or do you think it's something I can start now?
Right. So, to be honest, I would say the earlier the better, because basically we're going to be starting with visioning and ideation, turning your idea into successful businesses. So even if you don't have any idea at all, or not if you don't have any idea, if you don't have any clarity as to where to begin at all, it's also good for you. So it's also good for you, to start. Because like we said, starting is the problem of most people, which is why because there are different level of coaching, that people offer. Some people offer you coaching. I've been in coaching calls, coaching programs where by the time they are done, the only thing they are telling you they help you do is to grow LinkedIn page. They tell you use LinkedIn to get business, use LinkedIn to get business. They will help you out to post on LinkedIn. Most of the business coaching program out there, they're only teaching you content creation, but content creation is not everything, I remember when I was also trying to I've gotten to a stage in the business, I was like, okay, let me see what other people are even doing. I attended about 5 master classes of, coaching. By the time you enter there, they will telling you they will help you write content, And by the time they show you their pricing points, I've been seeing 10,000 pounds. And I wonder, do people actually pay this? Do people actually pay? And I used to think I have high tickets business. It was that when I went to all those sessions, and I realized that, I don't really have a high tickets business. I need to go back to that's what I said about going back to the drawing board. Anyways, what am I trying to say? I think it's good for you to start, because starting, and which is why I decided to start with people that are struggling to start, so that you can start. And at the end of the day, based on what we've said, based on the roadmap, you start by, gaining clarity and everything, and then you end up with, a business that has a website and all the booking and everything you need, and you'll be ready to actually take your, clients and all of that going forward. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so my question is about the innovative visa. My question is, if you are being sponsored, will your sponsor eventually have to send the money to you at some point, or would they just keep the money in their own account to show that,
send it to you? For the visa, you just need to attach a sponsorship letter and their bank statements.
They don't need to send it to you at any point? Okay. All right. Thank you.
They don't. Before, you need to have the money in your bank accounts. But now, I think from August 2022 is when they changed the policy or something like that. But the money just needs to be in an account that you have access to.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other?
Yeah, I wanted to find out regarding your books. How do you, when you register a company, do you need to have an accountant to have like a basic financial statement that says you have books, or you just register the company like that?
Financial statements, okay. I recently found out too that some people are being charged £300 to help them register business, which is why you are getting value, because all these things you can do it yourself. I heard somebody saying that they said you need an accountant to register a business. I know that when I wanted to register my business, I've had that kind of offer before. But guess what? You don't need an accountant until, yes, you can get advisory. You can get advice, because so that you can, in that first 1 year, also do your accounts properly, use your accounts properly. But you don't need an accountant other than to file you can even get an accountant and pay one-off to file your business until you know that you are making money. You can register your business without any reference from anybody. Even people in Nigeria can register businesses in the UK. They can be directors of businesses in the UK. So
No problem. Thank you.
This is what takes me to, these restrictions about registering business. You can actually add people in Nigeria as a director on a business here.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please, if you've asked your question, mute yourself big so we can hear others that are speaking.
Yeah, so I just want to
Who is speaking now?
I
So I
want
can
to
block the rest.
listen.
I
Can
said
you hear
block
me?
so I
This is
can mute
Blessing.
the rest. Sorry. Who is speaking now so I can mute the rest of the people that are unmuted?
Yeah, I'm speaking now, Blessing.
Hi, Blessing.
Okay, good afternoon. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to you. I know you may find it a bit difficult to remember me.
I remember you clearly. I have a very good memory myself.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so I just want to say here to you, first of all, that you inspire a lot of us. I remember when I met you, I was still in Nigeria when I met you online in 2021. And then I think you just started up your business. And in less than 4 years, I've seen how much you have grown, And I also want to say to everyone here that whatever this is starting newly, and whatever advantage you have to be able to see RKY careers one-on-one, I think you should take advantage of it, because in 2 years, 3 years down the line, you may not have that opportunity, just like some of us that knew her in 2020. Right now, we're finding it, because she has scaled up so much, we are still finding it difficult to be able to get. So I always join anything that I see that you are doing as much as I can, because I know that you are setting a very good example for the immigrants here in the United Kingdom and around the world. Well done again, well done. People like you have also made some of us start. We've been able to register a company and start up something, and then we have the opportunity to want to start up, do more and learn more. One of the best persons that can help you do anything, the wisdom to be able to do anything, is find out someone or people that have been able to do it before, and then just stay with them and learn the ropes. And which is why I think that these mentorship classes and this whatever you've started today, it's a good opportunity for a lot of us to be able to take advantage of the experiences, that you have. I don't have any particular question yet, but I just want to say well done and thank you. God bless you.
Thanks for the kind words. And I remember you from that first call for Talent Pool. I remember back then. Yeah, thanks for that. So, guys, there you have it. Do we have any other question before we call it a day? So, how many of you am I seeing come July? How many of you have secured your slots? Or you guys have just picked my brain left and right and center, and then I'm not seeing you guys again? I hope we're all part of the RKY Business Hub. There's a community where, regardless of whether you join the coaching class, you can still be part of us to get resources and all of that. There's a WhatsApp community. Joy, if you can drop the form for people to register to join the community, so we can all leverage each other's skills, knowledge, and all of that. Mm-hmm. So, like, I asked the question and nobody answered. We've had an interactive. We've had an interactive class so far now. Why did everybody go cold on me?
Maybe I'll have to go back to
comment in the chat.
We are with you.
Okay, good to know you are with me. Okay, you'll see me in the third course. All right. So, guys, I look forward to seeing you. It's been a great session. For me, what's most important, right, is what we've done. Talk to each other. I'm sure most of you will go back to the drawing board now. You go home, motivated. Like I said, Limitless Without Borders, our annual physical event is happening this weekend, this coming weekend. Make sure you do not miss it. I don't know. But I'm sure most of you have seen it in our different let me see if I can bring up the slide very quickly as well. It's also part of the things you need to leverage, right? We really need to leverage community, because we really need to leverage community and everything that community has to offer, because there's some information that you don't have, and if you don't have the right information, you are likely not to even leverage opportunities that are just, somebody said I've left money on the table. You just be leaving money on the table. Look at Airbnb business. You don't even need to have capital to start. Just rent to rent, And I know people that are making extra 40K every year on rent to rent without having any capital to pay deposit or even own any house. So having the right information is very important. This is not on this slide. Moving with people that have the right information, just like Blessing has said, is very important. Sacrificing your time, just like you are here today, because guess what? Being in this session too is a contribution to yourself, to your because some people would rather use this time to go and do barbecue. I'm not saying don't do barbecue, but even myself, if they invite me to barbecue, I'll go. What am I trying to say? Let's invest. We are in a different space. What we need to thrive here is even from Niger, even from Ghana or any other places we are joining from. Over here, you need information, you need knowledge. We need to learn because we don't have that local advantage. In Niger now, some of you, maybe your secondary schoolmate is now the governor, maybe your primary schoolmate is now the Kineko commissioner. Well, here, before you find your secondary schoolmate as the prime minister, what am I trying to say? There's a gap, and we need to fill that gap by being intentional with our networking. So this is Limitless Without Borders. I've got on my screen for those of you who just joined this session and have never been in any other RKY session. It's a big event. We are hosting over 1,000 attendees. We've got over 20 or 15 speakers, exhibitors, partners, and so on and so forth. And we've also got keynote speeches. We've got guys. You think I've inspired you? I know I'm very inspiring, my own personal journey, but it's not even going to be about me that day. Come and hear from other inspiring speakers, from property to tech, right, to everything really, from finance to tech to property, to how to become, vice president's partner, because my own goal for those of you that know me, is to make sure that we that come from the underrepresented or immigrants community do not settle for less, right? And are able to explore opportunities that abound. Because I don't live within limits, so I don't like to hear about limit or restrictions. That's in because you're on this kind of visa, you cannot do this. Because you are not born here, you cannot get to this. I always break all the barriers. I always shatter ceilings, and I want more people to do that because it's not just about me. Which is why we also have awards. I've won a lot of awards. Even my first award here was not I've won lots of awards, but now I want others. So if you look at the way I do things, my own goal is to make sure that I bring other people up as well. Now, over 16 people are winning awards in our community. They are all first ever awards, because the way these things work is get your first award and others will be chasing you. Get your first speaking engagement, others will be chasing you. That is my own goal, creating a platform for us, because if they don't invite us to some certain tables, we can create our own, right? And which is what we are doing. One event, one session, one, stuff after the other. So if you haven't booked your tickets, please do so. And let's meet next week at the events. Right. So the WhatsApp group link has been dropped. Just, drop your information and you'll be sent a mail to be invited to the community. This is where I call it a day. Thank you all for joining this session. So for those that are in the community, because it's also for those that are in the community, we would have periodic sessions as well, where we would bring different experts to talk to us about different things. So for those in the community, we might draw a poll for you guys to tell us who you want to hear from or what you want to hear. Is it from immigration person we should bring, or is it PR person we should bring, or is it what's it called? For those that want to start agency here and there, what do you want to learn about? Who do you want to speak to? Let's know, and we would get them to speak to us. And when we do, and we say come to meeting, come on. When we do, and we say, download this app to support this sponsor. Wow. See, success story just dropped. I joined RKY Bootcamp by God's grace. I am now a head of data at a top world university. Wow, that's very inspiring. Congratulations to you, Joseph. Joseph, I hope you gave us the success story in the right platform as well. Because this is like we should what's it called? We should frame this. I feel like framing this your comments, yeah. But you need to give us in a postable format so that we can also like celebrate with you. But congratulations on that. And that's to let you know how much success people get, from affiliating with the RKY brand. I'm super excited to all those of you that I'll be, we'll be starting our coaching session together in July. And have a great weekend, guys. Congrats once again, Joseph and Zoe.
Thank you so
Thank you very much. Thank you, RKY.
Thank you, Rookie. God bless you.